Let's go through these. This is so yeah. It should say the last duet.
Yep, number 2.
Okay, I see that now.
24-hour feature.
So,
So last duet's the first one.
So, can I read the criteria for this category to know what we're
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Great.
I gotta find it. Hang on, let me find it. 24-hour feature soft. A timely news story, soft or humorous in nature, that covers a planned or unplanned news event, an issue, or person or topic of general interest and importance. It can be a follow-up or sidebar to spot news. Stories must have been filmed, I hate that word, edited and exported within 24 consecutive hours. If the story is held back due to breaking news, it cannot be re-edited before airing. The spirit of this category is a typical day turn type of feature that likely didn't have any advanced setup or pre-planning. 90% of the video must have been filmed by the entering photojournalist. Entries must be 5 minutes or shorter. That's what I have.
Yep.
On the rules.
Yeah, so the spirit of this category, just so you know, is that it should be. This is not a long form feature where you plan 2 weeks in advance to shoot this thing. It's like you might get assigned this, that day, and you have to turn it basically within 24 hours. So consecutive hours, that is. Now this is so there are a bunch of solo video photojournalist categories. So this is the reporter is also the photographer and editor on this.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. So
is that what SVP means?
Yeah, solo video photojournalist. So the reporter. So you're judging the whole package here, pretty much.
Is it just reporters that do it, or are there like Nat Sound pieces?
No, it has to be where your job is typically an MMJ doing it all. So you can't just do a one-off like Nat Sound piece or a one-off. I'm going to put my voice on here. Your job has to be, this is what you do on a regular, pretty much everyday basis.
All right, cool.
Okay. Yep. So anytime
we're looking at all the storytelling elements, not just the images.
Yeah, I mean, it should be. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yep, we're ready.
Number 2, last duet.
Playing a guitar, singing, finding a spot to perform, like right there in downtown Franklin. Riley Vergara Cruz says all that is just her little brother, Raymond.
So we've been singing for as long as I can remember.
Some of that comes from their mornings riding to school, listening to piles of CDs.
Those classic hits like Stevie Wonder, definitely Bruno Mars.
And if there was a stage around, Raymond and Riley were going to take it.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Raymond would be the one like, come on, let's go. It's not a big deal, we'll just have fun. And getting to have your brother who's like your best friend with you is really something special that it's hard to explain.
Oh yeah, that was good.
The dream for Raymond was always to get in a recording studio, just like Bruno Mars. Riley was right there, always encouraging Raymond's dream during his cancer diagnosis.
And I got re-diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I don't know how to feel. And it's okay to feel like this.
Hold my hand.
Before Raymond's passing in August 2019, he was recording an album in places like the Gym Floor studio. The album is now finished.
It makes me very happy. And so these are definitely happy tears, but it kind of makes everything a little surreal that he's gone. But I know that he's smiling and happy from heaven that we finally finished his biggest goal.
People are gathering to get a first listen of Legacy by Raymond M. Cruz and his sister, is getting a chance to sing with her little brother again.
I'm talking to the moon. And hopes you're on the other side. Talking to me too. Talking to the moon. I know you're somewhere out there. Somewhere far away.
So I want to just make sure I understand that story's about the release of their CD. Is that what that is?
Yeah, yes, I think so. Like
Thank
that,
you.
she was able to release it after his death.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Looks like he or she was doing the story and then the guy died, right?
Well, no, they said he died in 2019. That's why I'm not sure where the sound of him came from. And
That
that's
was him.
okay. If,
That was him, right? That was shot through
Yeah.
the CDs.
Yes.
So
So
it was
I think-
consistent with how the story was shot.
He followed his music over hers, I think.
Does that fit the 24-hour thing?
well, it said 90%. So if that's old video, it's probably, if that's an old interview, it's probably still legit.
Ah, it's a follow-up. Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope it fits the rules, because if so, it was amazing. Great work.
It was awesome.
It's good to see that going on.
Right? It's so hard to see that lately.
By the way, I just want to mention one other thing that I neglected to say. As far as the solo video journalism categories go, there will be several of these. We do not have a solo video photojournalist of the year, like a POI for those who do it, but we've included in there this year at the judge's discretion. If you find that that somebody should be awarded this based on your, a body of work that they've submitted and have won, then you can award a SVP OI.
If there were an SVP, you win.
Yeah.
The next one is paint by powder. Just so you know.
Number, whatever, 3? Number
Right on
3?
the top there, right on the top.
Number 3, right? Paint powder?
Awesome skiing. There's no finer skiing in the stretch.
As Utah wraps up another ski season, those who love these mountains are reminded of why they keep coming back, especially after that season cut short by the pandemic last year.
We've got the best snow.
Lexi Dodal works for Ski Utah. She was on the mountain the day everything shut down.
It was kind of like crickets. I was out of work during what's normally the most intense part of my season.
This year, like so many people, she's making the most of these runs. But she's also taking them in a whole new way.
I try and find a spot out of the way like this, kind of above the guru.
She spent some time off the trail with her tools and one very special ingredient.
I came back with a vengeance this year and decided to visit every resort and paint them.
Tap water just won't do.
I have snow for all 15 resorts, and I'll be painting each mountain with meltwater.
That precious powder doesn't last forever, but it can leave a permanent mark. And that melted snow got Lexi thinking.
Having grown up here in Utah, I've witnessed the changing nature of winter. I shoveled my walks 2 times this year, maybe 4 times last year.
A Salt Lake-based hydrologist with the National Weather Service told climate.gov that Utah's climate could change so drastically that by 2100, the peaks of the Wasatch could be bare.
Oh man, that was such a terrifying thought. There's over 20,000 jobs that are produced directly as a result of the ski and snowboarding industry here in Utah. So when Utah has a bad winter, that affects a lot of people.
So Lexi decided to dedicate her paint by powder project to preserving that snow.
By using this meltwater, I hope to educate and inspire people about the plight of our snow and the plight of winter worldwide and how we can all just chip in.
She's selling the prints and will donate some of the money to protect our winters. She wants people to realize they don't have to paint mountains, though, to make a difference.
And hopefully inspire others to, take small steps, make a small change. We're all in this together. It's literally the biggest team effort that we have ahead of us. If we hope to continue skiing and snowboarding, we need to act now. What we have here is so special and it's worth protecting.
In Little Cottonwood Canyon, Sean Moody, KSL 5 News.
The next one on the list is lunch crowd, so you can key it up.
You're all ready?
Yep.
It's just before noon. Another lunch rush begins in a few minutes.
It just is fast and furious.
Meg Hereford and her team are preparing
Hey, thank you.
for a line of hungry customers outside the Lady Bird Diner.
Good morning. Hello.
Her guests have waited all morning for
It
this.
motivates me to get out of bed, honestly.
Tiffany Kopp might not be able to eat without it.
I have no income, no anything.
It started last year when Hereford's restaurant couldn't operate when the pandemic began.
We're so tiny and our working spaces are very, very tiny.
Outside on Mass Street,
Here you go.
she saw something she could do.
That was a time when everything was closed down and there was sort of no one on the street on those mornings other than the people who needed lunch from us.
Hereford started giving food away.
Today we have Italian hot beef hoagies, pork with green chili stew.
The same meals she made at her restaurant now feed anyone who needs to eat.
I'm used to McDonald's, so this is way different.
She and her volunteers make 200 lunches every weekday.
I say it's high grade.
Lady Bird has been doing this almost a year now. Hereford actually wrote a book to help cover her costs so she could keep doing this as long as people need help.
And the need has not diminished. Like I still sense that this is an emergency for a lot of people.
Her diner feeds the soul, too.
Do you need anything hot to drink?
She lends books and a kind word.
Hospitality is an expression of love for me.
Kopp is expecting a baby in August.
She helps me with other stuff besides food, baby clothing, hygiene products. One time she did bring me a sweater because I had nothing besides tank top.
She normally doesn't like to ask for help,
And I don't like being judged.
but judgment is not on the menu here.
There's nothing about this that feels like charity for us.
It's more of a meal among friends.
I honestly got a family out of this.
Marshmallows?
And Hereford's not worried about the check.
I don't feel like this is going to be my undoing or going to cost me my business. You know, we'll put it back together when it's time. This can only make us stronger.
Stronger through nourishment
Yeah, it was tasty.
in every sense of the word.
Sounds good. I'll see you.
In Lawrence, Nathan Vickers, KCTV5 News.
Are we getting some feedback from some of these mics open, or you think, or is that where all this hissing and static is coming from?
Yeah, it feels like it's coming from the where they're playing the video. I'm not sure how that works. I mean, it should be, you can't, unless, can you mute, Jessica? Can you mute? Well, your mic's already muted, right? When you play them?
Yes, it's muted when I play them.
Okay, so yeah, that's weird. I don't know why there's like I hear that too, where it's just sort of like some ambient noise or something.
Next one is Awesome Alan, solo video feature 24 hours, Awesome Alan. Wait, I don't know.
Poolville,
Is
Texas
everybody
has
ready?
just 2,300 people.
Yes, they are now. Are you ready, everyone?
So this is number 5 solo video feature.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Poolville, Texas has just 2,300 people. Likely hundreds of times that many cows, but only 159 students in its high school and only one.
See, they just are going down.
Alan Howell.
Go real hard.
Alan has autism, but here he is on the baseball field with his team.
Come on!
And on the basketball court. He's part of that team too. Always supported by his biggest fan.
He's my heart. He is truly a gift. He is amazing. He is awesome. He is my awesome Alan.
So here's the deal about her awesome Alan. Wherever he goes, whether on the court with his friends or in the car with his mom, Alan brings joy.
Other kids, when they do something, they're like, yeah, that's cool. But to Alan, it's like oh my God, yes, I did it. And then it's not just him happy, but everybody else too.
Yes, they are nice to me. They are nice to them. I spread kindness and love.
And when we seen what his ability to bring the joy in one room, why not? Why not let everybody else feel this joy?
So this weekend in Weatherford, the second annual softball tournament that bears his name, raising money not for Alan, but for other teens like him to get them to summer camps and to give them their day in the sun. With an AU for autism, it's the Awesome Alan Foundation.
Our foundation is all about making special needs feel as amazing as they make us. That Alan is absolutely awesome and he's perfect, and so are special needs. They all need to feel that, and we want to spread that joy and happiness like they do.
I always make them happy while I'm around.
His teammates and his coach would agree.
He's kind of that common bond that's really pulled our school and our community together. I mean, he's part of Poolville now.
It makes me cry. It makes me happy. It's all I've ever wanted.
By the way, the Poolville High School mascot is a monarch, not a butterfly. Alan doesn't need to change into something else. Monarchs are lions and kings, just like, they believe, Awesome Alan already is.
It's a self-confidence, and Alan's self-confidence is soared. If you feel sorry for Alan, I didn't do my job of explaining how awesome my son is.
Awesomeness on the road. Waiting for the rest of us to follow his lead. In Poolville, Texas, I'm Kevin Reese. Poolville, Texas has...
I guess they're allowed to fade up from black, right?
Yeah.
Only problem is it suggests re-editing.
The next one will be Cowboy Cares when everybody's ready.
Ready?
Is everyone ready?
Yep.
I'm ready.
Under a brimmed hat, there's an ear ready to listen.
My wife would say, why are you doing that when you barely listen to me? But that's a whole different story.
Dave Graham goes by Cowboy.
I think that the events of the virus and the political unrest, people have become so isolated that they're afraid to engage or talk.
But Cowboy's here to let people talk.
I'm honored to be here.
And this is a place where people need someone to listen.
It's completely different than the number of hurricanes I've been to, and I've been to the worst. Katrina, Ida, Laura. This is completely different. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it.
In Dawson Springs, Kentucky, bedroom mirrors and basketball cards are in the miles of debris. It's Christmas time, during the worst weeks of many lives. Cowboy came here from Belleville, Ohio to help however he could. And as part of that, he's come up with this. It involves
Thank you. Boom, boom, boom.
being an encouraging voice.
Thank you.
And more importantly,
My heart goes out to you. I can't imagine.
being that listening ear. Need to talk? Stop and talk. Cowboy cares.
How are you doing?
I'm good, actually. You know,
Did you get hit pretty hard?
We did.
People are desperate for somebody to listen. What's your first name?
Terry.
Terry.
I'm a chaplain.
Your home's okay? School's okay? We can't keep stuff bottled up, so that's why I do it.
In being here, Cowboys heard painful stories.
The woman that just left me here pulled her mother and her father out of the debris and past her neighbors, getting to them that were screaming for help. She can't sleep and she feels guilty, and she needed to tell that. She needed to do so in a way that the person wouldn't talk. They would just listen.
And hearing what happened to so many,
Look, I got kids. Huh.
could be overwhelming. But people are glad. A cowboy who cares came to Dawson Springs.
I think it's pretty cool. It's, you know, what you're doing is important too.
Thanks for coming out.
I appreciate what you're doing.
I said, you know, he just brought joy in my heart, a smile on my face.
That's all right.
And it was just comforting to know that we got so many that care about our care. So I just wanted to stop and let you know that.
Wait a minute. You're doing a good job, brother. You're doing a good job. You're gonna make it. We were built to communicate. It's in us. What's needed is humans to become humans again. With this small little footprint right here, it's back again.
Ready?
Nope. Yep.
Not yet. 1 second. I'm sorry.
It's called Dan the Cobbler When It's Time.
Okay, you can go.
Brad, you good?
Give me a sec.
Says Dan the cobbler.
Ugh. Well, apparently I can't enter my comments anymore.
Yeah, no, your comments aren't coming through.
You want to text them to me and I'll put them in for you?
You got
Hey, that's only fair.
What happened? Why can't you punch in your comments, I wonder?
Who knows? I hit some button.
You've locked. Oh, yeah. You've locked up your.
You did for the first couple of these, and the last two you haven't.
That's strange.
Maybe I just hit Apple Z. There it is. Oh, no.
He is your friend. This might be time to crochet.
I don't know. I guess I can't do it. So tough. Oh, well, it's too bad.
All right, we'll figure that out in a minute. That would be some kind of setting that you have there.
Yeah. All right. We can move. They don't see the comments anyway, I guess, right?
Just helps you remember. Are you writing them? Does it help you
Yeah,
remember?
I'm writing copy and paste. So.
Okay.
All right. Anyway.
On the corner of the Southdale Shopping Center in West Palm, you'll find Tony Pirano.
What's the phone number?
And Annette Candiano.
Okay, Hills, yes.
Working hard.
I think I spend more time here than I do at the house.
The dynamic duo holding down the fort.
Do as best as we can every day.
That is Danny's shoe repair.
Nobody has a negative experience here.
That family business, a community.
You got it.
Grew to love.
Thank you, honey. You have a good one.
They've just been a constant.
And it's the man behind the name.
He was a soul saver because he saved everybody's souls.
Danny Catalfumo, West Palm's longtime cobbler, who kept this place going.
It was all about family and about my dad taking care of all of his customers. If it was broken, my dad would try to fix it.
He created a family here.
It was like a father to me.
With Tony, Annette, and his customers. A family now heartbroken.
Yep.
With the loss of a legend.
We've all lost someone great.
Nearly 60 years ago, Danny opened up this shop.
If anything could be done to save something, he would save it. He's a pillar of the community. He was charitable in more ways than anybody can imagine, and a kind heart.
Daughter Juliana grew up here.
And so I was always here. So this was like in probably 65.
Watching her dad fix any kind of shoe, boot, or purse. Dan the cobbler, as some called him, could remember every customer's name.
That's how smart his brain was. They should have put the brain in the Smithsonian.
They send boxes and say, just fix them and send them back.
But he is the shop.
Danny died Monday. And the future of his repair shop
you got another one.
is now uncertain.
This shop, unfortunately, will die with him. I mean, he'd wanted it to be passed on. We're going to either sell or close. A decision will be made December 1st.
Until that time, Annette and Tony will be here.
Now there's Tony and I working.
Trying to live up to the legend. That is Danny Catalfumo.
There's nobody that could ever replace him.
No matter what happens to his shoe repair shop, its name and its cobbler lives on forever in this community.
It's like an institution. It'll be here for the next 50 years, regardless what happens.
In West Palm Beach.
People always talk about my dad.
Alex Hagan, WPTV, News Channel 5.
That was a nice tribute to a good man. Next Door Dogs is up next. We're not ready, but that's up next, just so you know. Good idea, Brad. This is working great.
Good, cool.
Quick, this is.
Nice, Adrian.
Yeah, okay, yeah, put in the wrong.
I pasted in my cell and it's going in everybody else's column. Gosh, are you kidding me?
I like that line though, Adrian. That was good.
What line? Everybody sold.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, let's see here.
That's working. Whatever you're doing now is working.
Yeah.
Oh, Brad?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Next Door Dogs.
It's not. What? Oh, well. There we go.
And Bob, I'm saying this to remind myself, we're not just judging shooting, we're judging storytelling, we're judging everything as an MMJ, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, there's no real, it's kind of up to you here. I think that we don't really have a definitive on this, except that always the photojournalism should be first. Right. But it's how the whole story goes together, and the fact that we won't, this is such a big deal around the country now that everybody is doing, everybody's an MMJ, whatever. We want to honor that sort of aspect of things. So
And I know we fought hard for this category because I remember we often felt there were no categories for us.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
So-
judging by what I've seen so far, there's definitely should be.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much
These
talent.
are so good.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Well, I know we're going to talk about this later, but I just have to say, Adrian, you made me laugh when you said it's hard to give up control, because the two sides of MMJ are always, what do you mean? I have to do everything? Or what do you mean I have to trust someone else? And I love that your passion is really to embrace the entire story and tell it the way you want to tell it. I think that's awesome. And I want to make note of that.
All right, what are we watching next?
Next Door Dogs. You guys ready? Go ahead.
It was this street in North Dallas, this apartment complex, and looking out this window
Oh, I'm just so sad sometimes.
that made Linda Summers so sad.
And here was this lady walking this little Shih Tzu, and it made me so sad I cried. I said, "Oh, I want to go pet that little dog."
Because she used to have a little dog of her own, a Shih Tzu named Lacey Day. But Linda suffered a couple of serious falls, bedridden for a while, couldn't take care of the dog anymore. So her daughter gave Lacey Day to another family.
I said, "You what?" I said, "Well, okay, but I've got to have another one someday." I know she did the right thing, but it just broke my heart.
So what does an 81-year-old woman do with a broken heart? She goes online. But it touched you that much?
So much that I said, I'm going to see if I can find that lady by putting it on Nextdoor.
So in this Nextdoor post, she told her story and asked the owner if maybe she could pet the dog sometime
If anybody should know her.
on its next
or
trip
she's-
through the neighborhood.
And then everybody else showed up. It was like, be careful what you ask for.
Looks clear. Come on, Hank. Because a parade of Shih Tzus began.
Come here, Bubba. What you doing?
Meet Hank, a Shih Tzu who lives just a few blocks away. His mom Haley brought him by for a visit.
I read your post and I thought it was so sad that you didn't have yours anymore.
I needed
and
one,
so
yeah.
and you needed one.
Mocha, can you talk?
And then there's Mocha. Her mom dropped her off for a couple hours that same day. Linda is a sometimes Shih Tzu dog sitter now.
When I read her post, I was just like, oh my gosh, she needs to pet Mocha.
The first two of now more than 300 responses Linda's gotten on that Nextdoor app. People offering up their best friends for a friendly visit
I
too.
don't think I was expecting that many responses. I don't know
I
if you were.
Then I just started looking and started getting these dings, and there was one, and then there was another, and then there was another, and I can't keep up with them now.
Well, what do you make of what this is clearly doing for the smiling lady sitting off to the right of you now?
I think it's brought her a lot of joy, and I think that's awesome.
How could I deserve all this? There's all these nice people just really being sweet to me. It makes me tear up. It just makes me feel wonderful. It makes me feel wanted. And just to play with these little dogs just makes my day. I mean, they just melt my heart. Or melt my butter, as my daughter always says.
Well, I will be back.
Okay.
When the dogs left after that first visit that first day, I asked Linda if she felt a little less lonely in her apartment now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And with that same infectious laugh echoing in that apartment breezeway.
Yeah.
She went back to checking her phone and back to the computer near that same window. She has work to do. with a social calendar.
Absolutely, without a
That's
question.
filling up fast.
And I'll be watching on, my computer to see who else is going to respond, because I will ask them to come over soon. Whenever you can, get over here.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin.
That's true.
There's that hissing noise.
Yeah, where is that coming from? Do we know? That hissing noise? That's weird. Now it's gone. Anyone know where that is? What that is?
It seems like it stops when the video goes off.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I wonder if it's something with their share.
It might be, or is there like a fan on the computer that's working overtime or something that we're
Oh, that
I don't
could
know.
be.
I don't know. It's sort of strange.
Jessica, is your computer getting hot?
I don't think so.
Because we're smoking through these.
Right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more.
Nice, Brad.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, what did I say now?
I want to hear from the dog.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, Mike the dog.
Like a
Right?
bark, like Mike the dog. Yes.
Yeah, something. We heard him shake. They're cute. I love Shih Tzus.
The next one will be whatever you're doing, keep it up. The hard category. These are good.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's
Hey, can you
roll
give us a 3, 2, 1 before that? Just because I'm always typing something. That would help.
Y'all just want to let me know when y'all are ready because I have to like unmute and then hide my.
Oh, okay.
Y'all.
All right. Anytime.
18.
Before every workout,
20.
you need a good stretch.
All right, feet are spread apart here.
Coach Mallory Spoons leads the group at Rocksteady Boxing in Dallas.
1, 2, 3.
Her class is crafted for fighters with Parkinson's disease.
We run Rocksteady Boxing Dallas and Southlake.
Mallory and her husband Austin started this in 2019.
This is now the highlight of my day.
The pandemic put a pause on their plans, but for the sake of their fighters, they brought it back as soon as they could.
The Parkinson's has been a real huge issue in our lives. It deteriorated quite a bit in the last year because of not exercising like I should.
John Thompson has seen symptoms develop over 13 years since his diagnosis. You see, Parkinson's is a nervous system disorder that progresses over time. It often starts with shaking or stiff muscles. Then speech and other movements can decline, and there is no cure.
You can't stop it, but you can certainly interfere with it.
What's coming is inevitable, but if anything can delay the symptoms, it's worth fighting for.
My favorite is hitting the bag.
While John takes a jab at Parkinson's, he motivates Larry Kaiser.
When I see those that are more advanced, it just makes you work harder.
Larry was diagnosed last December, and he saw this coming after watching his dad with Parkinson's.
My dad ended up in a scooter and couldn't talk.
He is starting self-treatment early, and it's working.
I went back to the doctor, and he said, whatever you're doing, keep it up. Because the exterior appearances were gone.
At Rocksteady Boxing, everyone goes at their own pace. One cross, one jab, or in Larry's case, one dance move at a time. It's motivation for a stronger tomorrow. In Dallas, I'm Tiffany Liu.
I've got to think that the hissing is on our end.
Yeah, I heard it. That was the first time in the story that I noticed it. Did you hear it in the story?
Yes.
I heard it previously in other stories too.
Yeah, now that we call attention to it, now you're all going to pay attention to it. But okay, well,
most of mine are out of sync, but I'm just living with it because I don't think we can fix it. Not enough to worry about.
So this is, it was called Whatever You're Doing, Keep It Up, right? But even though it's titled Boxing for
Yes.
Parkinson's. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. So the next one is I've already won. Just let us know when you guys are ready. Thumbs up. You can use your little reactions too, like this.
Did you think that was a one character story, Brad? That's interesting. I didn't.
I did not think it was a one character story. Did I put the wrong thing?
Well, in your comment, it says, I'm just curious, it said needed more characters. This is not a one character story.
To me, it wasn't. Because wasn't the greater story the Parkinson's?
Right, but there were several people. I got it. Maybe they all couldn't talk. I don't. Okay, so you wanted to see more Parkinson's. You want to see more Parkinson's patients, is what you're saying.
Here, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really well done. Very good daily effort. But he was he wasn't that great a character. He's sort of boring. I was hoping he wouldn't die during this story, and he didn't. So it's good.
Okay, the next one is solo feature 24 hours. I've already won.
I'm ready.
Sit down. Sit down.
It's 8th period at Frankstone Middle School in Paris, Texas,
Pull up your Texas career check. See if that one works today for you.
where Kenda Felker is doing what she always
And
does.
scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay. Then you're going to add.
Opening young minds
You ever heard of cost of living?
to see their futures.
You ever heard of that? Yeah.
And getting them to see the challenges their lives might bring.
Bills. Yes. Look at all those bills.
That's an
Wow.
obvious object lesson.
Okay, I'm going to show y'all something. Okay, keep going.
Every day,
Keep
too.
going. Be honest. Be honest.
Multiple sclerosis hit when she was 15 years old. 12 years ago, she lost the use of her legs.
Coach, I'll be right back to get them started. I got to go down the hall.
But still, even if she has to use her electric scooter, she is always here doing what she loves.
I'll let you in, Natalie. I was going to let you in, baby. To me, I'm just me. You know, I can do what you can do, maybe a little differently, but I can still do it. I'm just me. Good job.
But with the help and the encouragement of her husband, James,
He's amazing. I couldn't do it without him.
she decided to take on one more challenge. She explained it after school at her home in the country 15 miles away, the one with the crown and sash on the front living room table. I asked her why.
Not to be a beauty queen, I promise you. I grew up on a farm and I have never had a crown in my life. This is my first. It's fabulous, but I've never had one.
A friend asked her to compete for Ms. Wheelchair USA, an annual pageant to show the world that a wheelchair is not a limitation.
Just because we look different from you, we don't walk like you, you know, we still want to be able to do the things you do.
So, to send that message to her students, she was crowned Ms. Wheelchair Southwestern USA and will compete in July in Ohio for the national title. But for one other reason, too. She can only find one handicapped parking spot in all of downtown Paris. One. And a construction site portable toilet is blocking her exit. She wants to change stuff like that.
Handy-capable people want to shop and, you know, support local and eat downtown and do all that stuff too. We want to live life like everybody else.
There's nothing to stop that woman. I don't know why I was blessed to have her in my life, but I feel blessed every day to have her. She teaches me so much.
But whether this girl from the country ends up wearing a national crown doesn't really concern her.
When kids get in trouble, I have been called a demon in a wheelchair. That's one of my favorites.
In Paris, Texas, her students don't see the chair anymore. They just see Mrs. Felker.
Thank you, sir.
So, winning another crown isn't necessarily the goal.
No. No, I've already won. You know, I've already won. I just by shining a light on a different group of people who I think are often overlooked. And so just by shining that light on them, just give them a chance and see what they can do. That's I've already won.
And so have her students, getting that life lesson from beauty pageant royalty each and every day.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
In Paris, Texas, I'm Kevin Reese.
Those who judged this category did a good job. They gave us a lot. Pearl Harbor means a lot will be the next one when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Action.
It takes a troop to unload this many wheelchairs, to coordinate and escort buses, to make the day so special for 63 World War II veterans.
Yes! Excited!
On Friday at DFW International Airport, they checked in for a charter flight to Hawaii, the place where 80 years ago, each of their lives changed.
I was 21.
Lieutenant Commander Cass Phillips is a Pearl Harbor survivor.
See my hat? Oh, I see it.
He's lived 101 years. A lot has happened in a century, but nothing like December 7th, 1941.
I spent quite a bit of time out there.
This Navy veteran is ready to go back.
Pearl Harbor means a lot.
For others like John Pildner,
If I could do it again, I would.
it meant being drafted to the Army out of high school.
When I got out, I wasn't old enough to vote.
Wilbur Myers, also Army.
I went into France and went to Holland and the Battle of the Bulge in Germany and the whole 9 yards.
He's grateful for the patriotic parade all the way to the gate at Terminal D.
They have never forgotten how important freedom is.
Thank you, Freeman.
Each veteran felt the unwavering support.
Hell yeah, brother! Woo!
This retired Navy chief just got off deployment in Japan and landed.
Happy to be here, saw the flags and wanted to join in. I survived 9 days.
98-year-old Fred Harvey, an Iwo Jima survivor, is taking off with one goal:
Find his grave and place flowers to him.
to visit his late captain.
A great captain.
And for Walter Lebetsky, this flight to Honolulu is full circle.
Means a lot.
He has not been back to Hawaii since he left in 1946.
His daughter, American Airlines pilot Nancy Woodkey, is flying the plane and joining him at Pearl Harbor.
It's something I just would have never imagined, and it's very exciting. I'm very honored.
There are a lot of stories from World War II. The painful memories are a symbol of sacrifice and freedom, and that's something to always celebrate. At DFW International Airport, I'm Tiffany Liu.
I'm ready.
Who wrote one portable bathroom blocks for entrance? Okay, you guys are fixing that.
It's supposed to be in with the other one. It got cut off.
Okay, I'm trying to, as you type them in, I'm trying to make the text wrap work.
You know what? Here, can I do this then?
Yeah.
Because that one is driving me crazy.
You can't highlight all the cells, Bob, and do.
Yeah,
all
I did, but for some reason on hers it's not working. So I don't understand. Every time I go to do it, I text wrap every time she types in, then I have to go back and click on it again, and so I'm not quite sure why that's doing that. But okay, we are ready for the next one.
Yeah.
John the Mountaineer, go ahead, roll.
Tuscola is teeming with anticipation for tonight's game. The maestro of the madness is the Mountaineer mascot. But this week, the bearded spirit leader is equally as excited as the fans.
It really started in middle school. And he always said that when he got to high school, he was going to be the Mountaineer. And it's just been a lifelong dream that he's had.
A hope that came true just 4 hours earlier. John Justice's heart is as big and gold as the Tuscola team.
PT.
And he doesn't hide his feelings about football teams.
Kind of bear.
Many will look at John and notice only one thing.
All the time. All the time. I have to say, every fear that I ever had, he has, how can I say this? He has made all those worries go away.
He's much more than what people see.
John loves from the bottom of his heart, and everybody loves him.
And today, he found out he was going to get to be the living representation of the team he loves.
What have you always wanted to do on Friday night at the football game?
I can be
And be the what? The Mountaineer.
Yep.
Tonight, at the ball game,
Yep.
guess who's going to be the Mountaineer for the whole game?
Yeah.
You.
Me.
You're going to be the Mountaineer at tonight's game.
Yep.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you excited?
Yes.
It sounds good, but John's debut is also his swan song. John will graduate from Tuscola this year.
It's hard. It's really hard because when he realizes, and he does realize he won't be coming back next year, but I still think he'll always follow the school. His heart will always be here.
Sure.
He is such a sweetheart, and I know that he does everything with his full heart.
After watching from afar his whole life, wanting to don the beard and blue overalls, John's big T dream is a big reality.
I wanted him to still be able to experience that because, you know, his buddies that graduated didn't get to experience it, and so I was really excited to, for him to have that opportunity.
And even if the next time he comes to a Tuscola game, he isn't the mascot, he still represents what every Mountaineer wants to be.
Disability and that stereotype is not who those people are. That you have to, that they're just like everybody else.
If we could actually see the world through John's eyes, we'd all be happier people.
Second and 4.
Damn it.
Next one will be Feeding San Diego.
I'm ready.
All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. How are you today?
Paul Donnelly may have found his calling.
Good puppy. Hi, baby.
It's not the dog in this car, it's the food he's putting inside.
There we go, boss. This is Feeding San Diego.
Dozens of volunteers are here outside Pechanga Arena for people who simply need help.
Have a great day.
Help with their hatchback, too.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Paul's got it.
Whoa, I like her style. It makes me feel good. A lot better about myself, build some self-esteem and some self-worth. Have a great day.
And Paul is making them feel loved.
The community's wonderful. Good morning, sir.
Many of the people in line are active duty military.
Kind of saddened that people have to come in America in a food line in this situation.
I think most people assume that that would never happen to someone that's serving our country.
Elise Fernebach is the chairwoman for the Veterans Village of San Diego, an organization that helps veterans overcome homelessness and addiction.
You get the number, I got the ticket.
Paul is one of her clients.
Yeah, I'm a combat vet, Vietnam, Brown Water Navy, riverboats.
All these volunteers are veterans who at one time needed help too.
All of our buddies, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. We don't have no space guys yet, but.
It strengthens the ties of humanity.
Especially cool to see veterans helping other veterans and other active military.
Sam Duke helped organize Thursday's Feeding San Diego event.
This one's cool. It's emotional for me. It's powerful.
The power of seeing good people pay it forward.
It makes me feel part of the community. Bye, babies. Bye-bye. You the baby.
Oh, darn it. I just deleted my whole comment. Hang on, I gotta do it again. What did I do here? I'm doing something wrong. I'm messing up. Sorry, I'm ready. The plungster is the last one we have. It's so cold in my house. Sharon's ready.
Everyone else ready?
Yeah.
On a wet and cold day at Discovery Middle School,
Here we go.
it's cold. A choice to make it
3, 2, 1.
even wetter and colder.
It's cold! This is what we do. This is middle school to the extreme right here.
An extreme way to support Special Olympics Minnesota while celebrating community and inclusion.
What traditionally started out as year-round sports training for somebody who has an intellectual disability, now we've got all kinds of programming.
The Cool School Polar Plunge is a twist on the original. Instead of on a frozen lake, it's in a school parking lot.
When we first pitched this idea 4 years ago, we told our administrators we want to do this. They said, kids, lakes, ice, no. It's just like liabilities are crazy with a school.
I'm cold. So they brought it to them. Students are now taking the plunge from new heights in a pro plunge trailer, aka the Plungester. In past years, they did a makeshift version of this.
We were building platforms and stairways here, and it was an all-day process, so we thought, what can we do to make it easier?
Sergeant Keith Melrose pitched a mobile pool. The Alexandria company Protainer made it possible.
Almost like a portable swimming pool.
Shannon Schmidt says the family business usually manufactures recycling products like containers and trailers.
It was ready the end of March, beginning of April last year, kind of for the same concept, so just with COVID that kind of got put on hold.
Now they're building 2 more for Special Olympics, another for Minnesota and one for Iowa.
It's more special to us because it's going for a good cause.
The Plungester will be taken all across the state.
Because this thing was thought of here and built here in Alexandria, we really wanted to be the first people to use it here.
Making a big splash, raising more than $45,000, holding on to the largest single school record.
Pretty proud of that up here in Alec, being out in the outstate.
The money will benefit Special Olympics Minnesota and the middle school.
Gosh, I'll tell you this, we've got our athletes and they are really itching to go.
Showing what's possible when together you take the plunge.
Look at that hustle. Get warm, baby, get warm. Nice job.
In Alexandria, Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
I have 2 that stand out when we're ready.
let me ask you this question. So, we're coming up on, I mean, we're way past our lunch hour, our half hour or lunch minute. Do you all want to grab something and come back and deliberate on this while you're eating? Do you want to decide this and then grab a quick break? What do you all want to do?
Let's decide this one for sure.
Thank you. Agreed.
And then talk about it. I know I'm hungry. Yeah, Sharon, go ahead. I have some thoughts too.
Well, my two that just stand out are the cowboy and the veterans. Those two just jump. Beginning, middle, end, wide, medium, tight, good story, good characters. Those are the two that made me feel the most of any of the stories that we watched. I mean, whoever prejudged this did an incredible job, because there's going to be some very simple things that I think make decisions here. But those two just stand out to me as very, very strong in all elements of this category.
Okay. Yeah, I liked the only thing on Cowboy Cares that bothered me is like style over substance kind of thing, was that he was sitting in the middle on a chair in the middle of a parking lot that didn't have a background that showed me anything that had anything to do with the story. So I thought that was a little contrived and like.
Well, that first shot, they racked from him right to what he was there for. Like the shot of his face, and then they racked to all the damage behind him. I mean, I agree with you, because there were a lot of shots of damage that I'm like, well, is he in the foreground? Is he in the background? Where is he in relation to this? But I'm not sure that he was actually positioned himself directly there. It looked like he positioned himself on a busy street. And I remember that, but I specifically remember that shot when the reveal was why he was there, was that rack focus off of his face. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't tell me anything. And I'm like, why is he sitting on a chair? Because, you know, some photographers in the past had people sit on chairs. There's no motivation for the shot. That was disappointing, that part. I mean, great effort. The closing shot, I think, was missed when he was kneeling down at the car. And, you know, it ended on a sunset shot or something like that. I mean, I was... there was no emotion on the interview shot. That was my biggest thing. Good sequencing, good edit, good character. Kneeling shot was buried. That could have been the closing shot. It didn't even score for me. Let's see. My favorite one was to me was the best one was number 2 that we watched.
Yes, I feel the same way.
I like the shots on the phone. I know they can be overused and stuff. I didn't think it was overused. You're great editing, great light, great sound, spontaneous. I like to see good light. Very, very good use of light. It was on the sticks, tight. Like it, great stuff. Emotions, shot great, edited great, good pacing, made me care, good emotion, tears. It's the only one that made me cry. It's the only one that made me feel like I might cry.
You're talking about the last duet, the first one we shot?
Yes.
Watched?
The first one.
Yeah, because that, I mean, if you want to talk about an ending shot, that one ended on a talking head. And I had a hard time with that, understanding that the story was that the CD was being released. I was really, really lost in what was going on, because it's supposed to be 24 hours and we see him, and then we find out that he died in 2019, and then the release of the CD. And that's why I asked at the end, because I never really understood what that story was about. I had a real hard time with that one. I think all the shooting and everything you say about the shooting is 150% correct. Very creative, very paced well, very lit well, everything, tight shots. But I use style over substance, or substance over style, whatever that is. I could have been touched by it potentially if it was structured differently, but I didn't understand it. I didn't get the message too quickly that the big deal was the release of the CD. I was trying to figure out what it was all about.
Yeah, good point. My only thing is I wasn't sure that it would qualify, because it said no in the rules about no planning. This was not let's go to the newsroom meeting and dispense the stories and somebody gets this one. I'm not sure that it qualified to the rules. Can somebody help that? Does it? I mean, I want it to because it was so good. I didn't have a problem sort of getting the idea that the guy, did this CD ahead of time and that it was released. I didn't have a problem with that. I understood that. But does it fit the rules? You can't award something if it doesn't fit the rules.
I mean,
Well, there is some interpretation to that, and it says here, the spirit of this category is a typical day turn type of feature that likely didn't have any advanced setup or pre-planning.
I don't know if it qualifies. What do you guys think?
So, question.
Go ahead.
Bob, do you know who the reporter is?
We don't need to know that.
I can't tell you, but I do know.
Okay, and I know you probably should not hold past incidences against people or crimes.
I don't want to hear it. I'm closing my ears.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Unless they're a cheater.
Well, to your point, I don't know. I don't know who the reporter is, so I won't speak on that. If it's who I think it is, that's been a problem before, but I don't know if it's that person.
Well, did the question is, did they say their name in the
They
in the
did not.
audio? Okay. I'm not sure. I don't know who you're thinking of, but
so I like the piece. I like the cowboy story. I like the polar plunge story, and I like Awesome Allen.
Yeah.
With the plunge story, did it look like it was raining and sleeting there too? And I didn't see any fogginess or
good point.
mishaps
Really good point
on the shooter's camera. And I thought I saw underwater shot, so I'm wondering if they probably used a GoPro too to capture that underwater shot. That takes extra effort and time.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
To be out there by yourself one day. Awesome Allen. I thought there were some great moments there.
Awesome Allen.
The young man who, I think he had Down syndrome.
Autism.
Autism.
Oh yeah, the autism kid. He was very good.
And I've already won so many reveals. I did not know she was in a wheelchair. Thought she was just, I really was thinking, okay, this story is starting out boring. Where are we going? And then after that first reveal, I just was along for the ride.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of conflict there too. And those
I thought that one had so much. I mean, it almost had too much. Again, what was important? I thought the first reveal was outstanding. I thought the crown was important, but what a story about handicapped accessibility and limited accessibility. And I don't think that she spoke or anyone spoke on that strongly enough. I don't think anyone spoke. The students didn't speak about having a teacher who was disabled. I thought there was a lot of great pieces in there. It looked like it could have been 3 or 4 stories to me about her that, Brad, the old commitment. What was the focus of her about? What was the important part for me to really relate to her with? And that's where I thought that was a lot of facts about a really amazing woman, but I didn't know if there was a lot of emotion or resolution in it.
I love that story. I've got it as first or second. That's why I think it's really important, Bob, that you guys nail this thing down. I mean, it's got to be taken out of our hands in terms of the judging and the wording, because I'm afraid that it may not fit the planning, the first one, which was the one that I really, really liked and Sharon didn't like as much. But this one here with the lady, I would say that I think she's a champion for equal rights and handicap rights. And I thought it was really effective and a surprise when they showed the toilet in the middle of the parking spot. I would agree with some of the comments about it being, sorry, brain fart, it being a surprise, the best surprise that was in there.
The first one.
The lady in the wheelchair. The only thing is, and there was emotion, you know.
Oh yeah.
The only thing is, she didn't ever put on the crown. She should have been holding it or something. But those two are my tops. I'm just not sure that the one is going to qualify, the CD one, for a few different reasons. Bob, you got to decide.
I'm gonna email the guy and just ask him.
Okay. And I really like the veteran story. That was a ton of work. I think it should be awarded. It's a very good general news story. I could see that, you know, it was handed out at a newsroom meeting and somebody went and kicked ass on it. You know, it was a lot of work, a lot of hustle. Airports are huge. Good reactions, good emotion, you know, compressed shots with wireless on, and then to get the emotion, that's a lot of thinking and a lot of misses when people don't do it. So they got it. It's good surprise. Good surprise with the pilot of the plane being the daughter of a veteran. It could have been developed a little bit more, but really good writing and delivery. I think Pearl Harbor should be awarded. So
absolutely agree.
I do think that CD one could qualify. I mean, there's a lot of stories that rumble around, you know what I mean? But then if something happens where it becomes a day of, maybe that guy died that day,
right?
It became a day of story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of these things that happen in that are day turns, and day of stories are ones that have been running around the lottery mill for a while, you know, and it just happens that day that it struck. So, I thought that was an awesome piece, and that is my number one.
Me too. If it qualifies.
Yeah, and I could connect. I mean, I found myself connecting pretty easily that he had passed, and it was like a reveal to me. But that's just me. But then my number two would be the cowboy piece, I think. And then I can see the veteran piece, and I don't know. I like that girl used the GoPro. I think that even if you are a MMJ, which I can't speak on behalf of them, Adrian, because I'm not one or haven't been one. But I mean, I've done that in the past in different ways. But I think that it's pretty awesome that she used a GoPro. So, you know.
Yeah, I love that story. I like that one too.
Yeah. I think that could be honorable mention for me, and then maybe the veteran piece. And I feel like I'm overlooking something for a third, but that's where I stand. But.
Mm-hmm.
So you were good with Cowboy too, though. You liked Cowboy.
Yep.
Veteran.
I liked Cowboy. Brad, I hear you on the single shot. I took that as someone. It was a visual representation of loneliness and suffering in silence for me, needing someone to talk to. That's how I took it. I don't know if that's what the photographer was thinking, but I liked that solo shot. And I liked how, and I wrote this in my comments, I did like how they panned over to show the destruction behind him.
Fair enough. Everybody likes it. So that's the way it goes. I know I couldn't get away with a shot like that. That's for sure.
Well, and same deal with it. I almost want to watch the last duet again because I feel like I really just missed something that all you guys saw so blatantly. But if everyone likes it, I'm whatever you guys think.
So how about this? What do we agree? We agree veteran is award worthy?
Yeah.
We all in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Do we agree polar plunge is award worthy?
It's fine with
You know,
me.
I like polar plunge maybe as an honorable mention. Sorry, I just got food first time. I think there's a ton of work and I think it's really good. I didn't like the story structure a lot. That was the only thing about it is it didn't have, but yes, I agree that it needs some recognition. Absolutely.
So we agree on those two. Do we need to rewatch something or can we, because Bob's going to find out if the last duet qualifies.
I would like to watch that again. I really would like to watch that again because I was so lost and you guys were so there.
It's the only one that made me.
Go ahead.
Does someone want to say something? Or play
The
go ahead.
autism boy made me cry.
Go
He was
ahead.
adorable.
Okay, I'll go ahead and play it.
Playing a guitar, singing, finding a spot to perform, like right there in downtown Franklin. Riley Vergara Cruz says all that is just her little brother, Raymond.
So we've been singing for as long as I can remember.
Some of that comes from their mornings riding to school, listening to piles of CDs.
Those classic hits like Stevie Wonder, definitely Bruno Mars.
And if there was a stage around, Raymond and Riley were going to take it.
Raymond would be the one like, come on, let's go. It's not a big deal, we'll just have fun. And getting to have your brother who's like your best friend with you is really something special that it's hard to explain.
The dream for Raymond was always to get in a recording studio, just like Bruno Mars. Riley was right there, always encouraging Raymond's dream during his cancer diagnosis.
And I got re-diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I don't know how to feel. And it's okay to feel like this.
Hold my hand. Before Raymond's passing in August 2019, he was recording an album in places like the Gym Floor studio. The album is now finished.
It makes me very happy. And so these are definitely happy tears, but it kind of makes everything a little surreal that he's gone, but I know that he's smiling and happy from heaven that we finally finished his biggest goal.
People are gathering to get a first listen of Legacy by Raymond M. Cruz, and a sister is getting a chance to sing with her little brother again.
I'm talking to the and hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too, talking to the moon. I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away.
I'm better. I'm better, much better. Thank you.
Number 1.
Yeah, I can be on board with it being receiving something. Ooh, why am I? Oh, I turned myself off to eat candy.
Hey, Adrian, what are your thoughts?
Same.
Blau.
Adrian, do you think number 1?
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you guys pick it as if it's in?
I just say it's in. I don't, the number. I just have those concerns about the category and timing, but I do love the story.
Yeah. Yeah, once I would agree, once we figure out if it qualifies.
So again, I think it's I mean, I've emailed him, I've sent him a Facebook message, and we'll see if he responds. But I think I think you should put it in, if you think it's going to win or place, put it in the order in which you want it, and we can revisit it when he responds.
What was the question? Whether it was all same day, all 24 hours?
I just said, what was,
24 hours.
I said, what was your, I forgot what I asked him now.
Not just 24 hours for me. It's, did they show up in the morning and there was no planning. It seems like it was planned, but if it wasn't,
how much pre-planning went into setting up the story? Can you talk about how this story came about? That's what I asked him.
Well, the category says covers a planned or unplanned event.
Right. And then it says, yeah, it just, I will say this. I mean, I wrote this language, so I can maybe put a little, but that doesn't help. It's how it's interpreted, right? By the entrant. I will say this, that the idea, this, and where I wrote the spirit of this category, it's not something that, you know, you should be like working on for weeks on end, like a long form feature where, you know, you're going out and shooting a bunch of interviews on your spare time or in between things, or going through a whole process of somebody maybe having surgery, and, you know, going through the whole, you start with them, you know, when they get their cancer diagnosis and go through, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the spirit of this category. So it's meant to, and if I need to rewrite this for the future, that's good information for me later. You know what I mean? So but that doesn't help us in the sense on what he was thinking, or if he misinterpreted the rules, or is trying to sneak it in on a I mean, it also should be something that maybe, I mean, polar plunges, for instance, is a day turn, but it's a planned event, you know, so it's a little different, right? So it's not,
yeah,
like,
I don't have a problem with that one though.
Right, but I'm just saying that there's the difference, right? So what you're trying to say is that this is more of it's not an event per se. It's something where it's a feature that was set, that was maybe set up, but
no, I'm not trying to say that. I didn't realize that we were allowed to. I think it qualifies in that it was a planned event.
Right.
I had missed that. I thought it was like you show up in the morning and they send you out on a story. But it wasn't that. They knew about this.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's okay. It's just whether or not you know, there was a whole bunch of pre-planning to work the story.
Well, and if you know about it, you can be thinking about it and building it up in your brain and designing the open and designing things, and then shoot it all the same day, and it fits the category.
Yeah, I mean, if it was done that way, it only speaks, I think, volumes that they were able to accomplish that much without shooting in the middle of the week and cheating. So to me, it's number one. Cowboy, I wouldn't even put in there, but I can compromise, and you guys put Cowboy in, and I say this is number one here, if it qualifies. It sounds to me like it does.
All right, I just got a text message back from him on Facebook. He says the event itself, the album release party, was just on my radar. I'd done a story on Raymond years ago while he was being treated at Vanderbilt, so I kind of knew the well, that doesn't really give it away, does it? Because they said the town anyway. So I kind of knew the family. I did the interview with the sister and shot the event first and built the video from there. So
a lot of work.
I think it's okay. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, but you guys, you know,
I'm all right with it. I think it's fair.
I'm good.
So we agree that's number one.
I don't think it's number one, but I think the majority thinks it's number one.
All in favor for it, number one, raise your hands. Okay, so we have number one. Our number two, in the interest of time.
I would say Cowboy.
I'm in for Cowboy or Veterans. I can go either way with those.
Veterans a lot more work.
Oh, this is hard. Full disclosure, I know the person who shot veterans.
Are they really nice?
She works her butt off. She shoots while pregnant too.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, you can't do this. You can't do this, Adrian.
I know. I'm just saying.
I've never done that.
I think that's why I probably didn't even say anything about veterans, but
it's a beautiful story. It's very well told. It's very much, I mean, when you listen to us talking, there's skepticism about Cowboy from some people. Nobody's had veteran skepticism. So maybe it should be two.
That's a great point.
Okay. I'll compromise. It's okay.
Then 3, I think really needs to be Cowboy though. I really think it's a solid story.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, now see, oh my gosh, see, I like Polar Plunge.
Yeah.
I like Polar Plunge, but I thought it was so jumpy and I didn't think it was as emotional. It didn't touch me. I didn't hear the kids understanding why they were doing it. I just heard the kids say they were cold, but did the kids relate to the cause and the purpose? I didn't get that. And I think that's a really important piece of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just a hair smaller of a story than the other ones, you know.
I mean, these are also good, but
yeah, I mean, are there any that you're missing that you're overlooking here? Just to make sure.
Okay, video wise, which is better? Take out the storytelling and just look at the video.
Oh, I think they're both really good.
Between Cowboy and okay.
I think they're both really good. I think Cowboy's lighting was stunning. I don't know if they got lucky and he happened to be out at that time of day. I don't know how all that worked, but it was gorgeous. It was the right time of day for the right thing. And they shot the damage in the same situation. What else? The dogs. Did we like the lady with the dogs?
Those seemed a little long for me, a little too long, but
yeah. I'm trying to address Bob's issue, even though I think if we have the standouts, we shouldn't go back.
Just want to make sure you're not, sometimes it's easy to.
It's fun. Yeah, I've never heard anybody mention, I've already won number 10. I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
Oh, I did. Yeah, it was one of my favorites.
Yeah, editing, good surprise. It was the best surprise out of the whole thing.
I wasn't crazy about that one. I thought it was structured poorly. And like I said, we already talked about this at one point. I know I said that it had so many different storylines that there was nothing powerful and followed up on. It was, I thought the great surprise at the beginning, that was good. I thought, but then we didn't hear the kids, any reaction to having an instructor like that. The beauty queen thing was kind of there. It's very powerful that there was a toilet in her way. We got no real feedback on that. I mean, it had so many places it could have grabbed and I just didn't think it did.
Couple misses.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd agree.
Some of the others that you had, there was Lunch Crowd, Dan the Cobbler, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
When you guys do an obit on me, Dan the Cobbler was a nice obit, but it was nothing. It really was. It was a very nice piece. There was just
Which one?
I'm with
Dan the Cobbler, the shoe guy, shoe store.
Oh yeah, yeah, really good.
But not anyway.
I liked veterans, and I really liked the school one just because we've all shot these general news stories, and it was a lot of work, a lot of running around. And I just thought it was a good general news story.
The woman, you mean the woman with the
last one that we saw.
The Polar Plunge, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Polar Plunge.
Yeah. The list I had was number 1 was, the one with the phone and the guy died. It was best emotion for me. Number 2 would be the veterans, and number 3 would have been. I hear what you're saying, Sharon. So I won't throw in the I've already won. I really liked it personally.
I think it had a ton of potential, but I think they.
I know what you mean about the reaction from the kids. It did need that. We didn't have that. I was sort of.
We don't know if they were allowed. What if the school said no? Like I talked about that, and if it's a day turn, you got to consider all of those things.
A lot of work, really good. I liked it.
There was no reference to the kids. Did he talk to them? Did he write a line? Did he, or she, or I mean, I just thought there was a lot of upended pieces in that piece. I didn't think the ends were tied together in the storylines. It was like they didn't commit to the story and what they wanted to tell. They found out, oh, by the way, she's a beauty queen, and oh, look at this toilet that's in her way. And it's like, bring me into a point and let me feel that point. And that's really important for me in a story.
So Sharon, you hate that piece, and a couple
I
people
really
like
do.
it. And a couple people like it. So what do you think?
Let me just ask this: is veterans second place? Have you decided on that or no? Or are you still waiting?
I think.
Yeah, I go with second.
Is that's the? Are you, Adrian? You're not quite convinced on that yet.
On what, veterans?
Veterans.
I can do it second. I had last duet veterans. I've already won. Polar plunge, honorable mention.
And I have cowboy instead of I've already won. So somebody, you guys can.
I have cowboy.
I mean,
already won.
Everybody likes cowboy except me, so it sounds like it ought to be third, right? And then the honorable mention was the polar plunge. Is that what we're deciding?
Adrian didn't say she wanted. Do you want cowboy to be third, Adrian?
I can compromise. I like it. I did like it. I also liked I've already won, but if Cowboys is what, I mean, I guess, yeah, sure.
Well, you and me on Cowboys, I'm not thrilled with it either.
you want to go
I
polar
just hate
third
that
and Cowboys
interview.
honorable mention?
I just hate that interview shot. It's just like, ugh, no emotion, wide. It's just.
We could do polar third and Cowboys honorable mention. I don't know if allowed.
I don't think polar should be third. I liked it a lot. I thought it was creative, but I thought there was just more elements in cowboy that.
I totally agree with you. I'm trying to compromise, but if
Okay,
you want my
so
opinion,
I think we
Cowboy
got
third.
it. Last duet, veterans, Cowboy, honorable mention, polar plunge.
Polar plunge.
Yeah, I like it.
I can do that.
Cowboys 3?
Cowboys 3.
Ah, hey, that's good. I'll go with that. That's good teamwork.
I mean, I think one of the notes to take away, Bob, if you have to deliver notes, is that it's a stunning category and that these people are doing incredible work. And
Yeah, it's the best. This is a lot of talent
this
here.
is a lot of really good work here, and I
Every
commend
single
all
one of them was good.
Yeah, it was hard to judge at all in this thing.
Okay, Sharon has the
These
pen.
are, I mean, there's no question. Okay, so let me just last duet, Pearl Harbor, Cowboy Cares, and
Polar plunge.
and Polar Plunge. Okay.
And kudos to everybody. This was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Kudos. Let's see. I'm just gonna write some notes in this other thing.
I mean, I hate to any of them to hear our comments, other than they got to hear first that they're all excellent, and then it's just a tough competition, man. I mean, this is really tough.